As sports card singles buyers, we're all trying to find the best deal that we possibly can, and that's what today's video is going to cover. We're going to hit on some of the basics and maybe a couple of things that you hadn't really thought of or done in a while. Stick around. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. We are back again. Friends, if you like what you hear and you're looking for daily sports card content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. About half of viewers are not subscribed yet, but I know that it's just a matter of time, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
You take the card and put it in the sleeve.
Before we get started, we've got our Friday shout-outs. JustCollect.com. You've got a collection. You're trying to figure out what is it worth? Who do I contact? Leighton Sheldon and the JustCollect.com team can take care of you, so make sure to check them out. You're on Whatnot and you're like, where do I go? How do I find deals? Where do I find cool cards and inventory? Wooten Sports Cards on Whatnot. Over 12,000 followers, 5-star reviews. It's always a good time at Wooten Sports Cards. Actually, a new one this week. We've got fun.com and halloweencostumes.com. I ran into somebody that works at this company, sent me out a bunch of cool sweatshirts. I got an Alf costume to wear for Halloween. I'm getting a promo code for you as well, so I'll be mentioning these guys more, but definitely check out fun.com and halloweencostumes.com. Last but certainly not least, Card Capsule. You need a case, you need supplies, and you want 10% off. Use Sports Card Dad code for 10% off all of your cases and supplies at Card Capsule. All right, Frank. All right, finding the best deals on sports cards, it might seem that it's easy, but it can be tough depending on what your goals are. Are we talking about low end? Are we talking about mid end? Are we talking about high end? But a lot of these strategies really pertain to all of the above, whether it's, dollar cards or if it's $10,000 cards. The first one I want to talk about, card shows. So being in person somewhere at a card show, it's great to be able to negotiate in person. Now, it can be kind of tricky depending on the dealer. Maybe you can negotiate with the dealer. You always have leverage when you're buying multiple cards and you're paying with cash. But I think where the real opportunities lie are at trade nights, because at trade nights, people, they bring their cards in, they've got trade bait there, and a lot of times they're looking to trade, move out of cards so that they can go spend money at the show. But a lot of times, they're walking up with their case, hey, are you buying? Asking the dealer, and the dealer's like, sure, I'll take a look. And 90% of the time, it's usually like, thanks, but no thanks. You can actually go to trade nights and you can negotiate, especially if you're going to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from somebody. You can say, hey, look, I'll take all of these off your hands, but I'm looking for a discount. And you can then get into cards that might be liquid that you can resell. Or if you get really lucky, maybe you run into someone that has PC cards or cards of a player that you collect or a set that you're trying to collect. Maybe they've just got a bunch of cool stuff and it works out. But I think the trade night, especially, when we were at the National Card Show, that was a massive trade night. And so if you're able to go to some of these larger shows with these larger trade nights, a lot of times you're walking around and, dealers might have something priced up because they're paying to obviously have the table there. Who knows what they're into the card for. But the trade nights, a lot of those folks, they're just showing up and they don't have, thousands of dollars into a table where they've got to move it at a certain price. They've got a lot more wiggle room. And look, they want to spend money at that show and they're trying to get out of these cards, get some cash so that they can go spend it. Opportunities. Buying lots on eBay or looking to buy multiple cards from the same eBay seller. This is really kind of a winning formula. Buying in bulk is always a winning formula to get a better price on cards of your favorite player, or if you're looking to resell these cards. If you are buying in bulk and you're showing up to an eBay seller, they've got lots of 10 cards of Jalen Hurts or whatever it might be. If you're somebody that's selling online, the idea that you can sell multiple lots of cards, that is kind of a dream, because if you can just do kind of one big package going out to the same person as opposed to 10 little ones that add up to one big one, I mean, it's just much more efficient if you're dealing with a buyer that will buy a lot of cards from you, will buy in bulk, those lots, multiple lots. And I've gotten deals plenty of times that way on raw cards. And then if they've got multiple graded cards and you already feel like they've got pretty good prices, a lot of times you just message them and just say, hey, look, I'm interested in these 4 or 5 cards, maybe these 10 slabs. What can you do for all of them? And you go ahead and work out a deal. I still believe that we're more in a buyer's market for cards. I do understand that card shops and live sellers and card shows, they're able to sell cards. And so somewhat of a seller's market really just depends on what we're talking about. What are the cards? Is it very scarce stuff that people are looking for? Is it very liquid stuff? Or is it more obscure players? It really all depends. But I still do feel like cash is king in this world that we're in, this higher interest rate environment that we're in. You're buying bulk lots. That is a quick way to get a great deal. Now, off of eBay, there's a lot of great sellers, trusted sellers that are on IG. And I think you could probably also wrap in Facebook groups, IG/Facebook groups to buy cards. If you get into a Facebook group, the good thing about Facebook is at least you can try to build rapport within the group. Who's selling to who? There's vouches, who can we trust? Of course, you have to be careful there because you don't have the eBay protection if you're buying from somebody on IG or on Facebook. There's plenty of scammers out there in the sports card world trying to buy, sell cards. So be very, very careful dealing off of eBay. It's one reason why people just will buy off of eBay because they at least have some sort of protection in case something goes sideways. However, there are a lot of great sellers, and a lot of times you can find, if you're looking at the eBay handle, you can go and find, okay, this person's name is this on eBay. I can go find them on IG, reach out and see if there's something that you can do directly. A lot of the big sellers, they're also well known on IG as well. So there is a way to kind of get in touch and be able to figure out a deal. Facebook groups, because you're able to, direct message people, you can friend people, you can get to know people, you can get to know, okay, this is what these people are about. It just makes it a little bit easier to transact. You just have to be careful and make sure that you're comfortable when buying kind of off eBay or off of an auction site where you don't have any protections in place. Smaller auction houses. So a lot of times, in the news, you'll hear about Heritage or you'll hear about Sotheby's or these huge auction houses. There's a lot of great auction houses that just don't do as much volume or don't have as much marketing going on, but they've got great items. And it could be lower level, mid-level, high level, expensive stuff. They've got great items. Just because they're not, golden auctions and have a Netflix show doesn't mean that they don't have great service and great pricing. And that's where I can see an opportunity, is where maybe there's not as much eyeballs on that particular auction house for that particular item, and you can find deals that way. So it's important to really track not just the big boys that are out there and that are at the National with a humongous booth and everything. Pay attention to all of these other auction houses, because there's diamonds in the rough that slip through the cracks all the time at smaller auction houses. Smaller doesn't mean not as good. In many cases, those boutique auction houses, like I work with Hakes in particular, channel partner Hakes, they do a fantastic job. They're one of the older auction houses. They just don't do as much volume as some of the larger ones, but they have great rep within the community and they've got great items and they still have record sales for certain items. So just paying attention to all the different auction houses can really make a difference when trying to get great deals on sports cards. All right, the other thing is make the community know, whether that's on YouTube or IG or Twitter or wherever you are, who is your PC player or PC players. If you happen to collect Cleveland Indians cards and this particular player for that team or whatever, make the community aware of it, and people will actually bring cool cards to you. I've had, as a Drew Brees collector, I've had people just send me Drew Brees cards just because they like the channel and they want to support the channel. They know I love Brees, so they're going to send me Drew Brees cards. It's incredible. They will also share with me auctions where there's a 1-of-1 shield or something, and I might have missed it. I bought cards that way. Actually, a couple months ago, there was a 2014 tie-dye Prism Breeze. Actually, it was this card in particular, the 2014 tie-dye. It's numbered out of 25. I had never seen one of these out in the wild, and one of my viewers reached out to me, I believe it was on IG, and said, hey, check this out. This is such a cool card. And I was able to make a deal for it. It's fantastic. So letting people know what you collect. That's a big thing. Just putting that out there and building out those relationships, whether it's dealers or other collectors. A lot of times it really just depends on what you're trying to do as well. If you're operating in the high end, there's going to be a lot of collectors that just put cards away, collectibles away, and they have no intention of selling. And you might have to bug them and badger them a little bit. And over time, maybe they decide to sell that item to you because they know that you are also another huge collector. It happens, but there are certain cards. That's kind of the fun of the chase is that you're going to have to build relationships if it's really rare stuff to be able to get into those cards more than likely. If it's more common things, then, it's just about building relationships to be able to get those better prices. The more that you buy and transact from a seller and they know you, they will cut you breaks. They will give you deals on individual cards, on bulk stuff that you might not have thought that you'd get a deal on it. You're able to get a deal. But again, finding amazing deals on sports cards, it's a lot of it sometimes too is right place, right time. You catch an auction. That's another thing is just pay attention to auctions. That's why a lot of people talk about, man, I'm on eBay, I'm scrolling eBay. A lot of times you have your watch list, you've got kind of your target cards, and there are things that pop up and it's on an auction and you're just kind of watching it go. And there's stuff that ends far less than where it was previously. Sometimes it's higher, but that is the fun. That's part of the game of buying, selling sports cards and what's fun about buying singles, especially, and kind of that thrill of the chase and finding the best deal possible for that particular card. Friends, let me know your thoughts. How are you getting the best deals you possibly can on sports cards these days? Share your strategies down below. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.